Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy K High, and I'm here on behalf of Double XL. Today, we have a true entertainment GOAT in our presence. Nick Cannon, what's the word, man? How you living?
What's popping, man? I appreciate you.
Yeah, real talk. How you feeling?
Man, shoot, any day on this side of the grass is a good one. Just maintaining, no complaining.
Yeah, I know that's right. Straight up. Well, off rip, congrats on the new drop. The Explicit Tape R&B is out right now.
Yeah.
Like I was just telling you, it's fire.
Good luck.
For sure. If you know anything about R&B and soul, you'll catch the gems throughout. You feel
Yeah.
me? On I Do You Flip, I Want to Be Your Man by Zapp and Roger. You know,
Yeah.
Lily, You Spit Over Encore by Cheryl Lynn. And the
Yeah.
provider is a Babyface As Soon As I Get Home. I mean, the list goes on. But yeah, so how did you approach this new effort? Like, how did you decide like what songs and which artists that you wanted to pay homage to?
Man, you know what? It's honestly this was because I'm currently working on my album as well, which is like
Okay.
it's a little bit more mainstream. It's not as explicit. So these were all songs that I just love because they were so raw. They were so like old school R&B. Like because my album is probably a little bit more, sound of today, a little bit more pop driven. You know what I mean? Like I feel like everything kind of is more major scales and kind of even having that idea of like is more sonically to the masses where these songs are like, yo, you got to be a real fan of like R&B music
Yeah.
to understand where I'm coming from. And like really I feel like this is what was missing in the game from, I grew up loving the Keith Sweats, to Make It Last Forever, the 12 plays, the Jodeci's. Like we had the fellas ain't had that type of music in a long time. Like shout out to everybody who's doing their thing in this new emo, R&B, or even like the hip hop dudes is being soulful as well. But we ain't had like those old school like R&B cats like we used to have in the 90s. So that's kind of what my inspiration was.
Yeah, you preaching right now.
Yeah.
To help you bring this together, to help, hit that nail in the coffin, you drafted Rick Ross, Chris Brown, K Michelle, the legendary Brandy, among others. So how did you narrow down the artists that you wanted to feature for this?
Man, it was just, I mean, it's all family. I mean, honestly, these were, again, like the way I was putting this together was, these were the records that I had the most passion for. I'm like, man, what am I gonna do with these? So I had been collecting these records for a minute, and I knew they weren't the right fit for the album, but I knew they were like exactly what's going on in my life, and being in the media in a big way, everybody all into my personal life and stuff like these were the songs that I needed to speak on, and those were the heavy hitters that I really, like these are people that are just really in my life and we're speaking to those specific topics. So I was just blessed enough to be able to work with everybody who helped me with this. And then when I looked up and put all of these songs together, I was like, yo, these joints kind of, this is a whole body of work in itself. This is a project, we got to put it out there.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Yo, what's your process like? Do you write? You freestyle? Is it a mix? Has it changed over the last couple of decades?
Yeah, it's definitely changed over the couple of days, but it depends what I'm doing. Like, if I'm rapping, I'll write. You know what I mean? Like, even because I'm a poet at the end of the day, so I have concepts and stuff. But like, singing is like you just kind of get your melody. You go into the booth. Sometimes it's collective, and you just kind of whatever you feeling in the moment. And
Yeah.
so to me, R&B, you don't really. You might come up with a concept or something like that, but that's really how you feel. Like you emoting, you putting your soul into it where rapping, you trying to come up with a dope 16, or you might do this and there. So, and even nowadays, like you said, things have changed a little bit. People almost look down on it. You're like they want you, oh, I just go in the booth and spit. And it's like, well, as a poet, like you want to actually take your time with your words and really, say some things. So I'm still a fan of actually writing and when it comes to lyricism. But when it comes to, singing and putting your heart in it, it's just whatever you feel in the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely get that throughout the project. Definitely an evocative effort and something that I'm gonna have to put on when I'm macking or something because
that's
wow.
what it's that's what it's for, right there.
Yeah, no, I feel it. So obviously just throughout your career as a musician, you've tapped in with a lot of people. Are there any other artists that you'd like to work with in the future? Or even that we can expect on the new album?
Yeah, man. I've been so excited. I got a chance to get in the studio with Stevie Wonder on my title project. I got a joint called the name of the album is called Ghetto Blues, and And
Okay.
Stevie helped me with that, man. And it's really like my album is really, I took Marvin Gaye's What's Going On and Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions and just live with them joints. And just based off of, to me, what's going on in my life, what's going on in the world, it's like, all right, this is needed. And it's real work where I fuck with the explicit tape heavy because it's like it's more of my hip hop roots, it's more of my raw R&B talking shit. But my album is like getting a chance. I mean, to me, Stevie Wonder is the closest thing to God on this planet. Like when it comes to his level of talent and what he's done for this world and how his spirit resonates. And to be able to be in the studio with him and sit next to him is probably one of the greatest things that I've ever experienced in music. And then honestly, man, I just as of recently, I've been in the studio with another, icon and mentor, and probably my favorite songwriter ever is Babyface,
Mhm.
and we came up with some heat too. So between those two, man, like I don't ever gotta make another album or project again. I got to work with Stevie Wonder and Babyface. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. Go talk. Y'all hear that? Excited. Um, so one more question on the album. So on A Player's Prayer, I know you said that you were inspired by Sierra and Summer Walker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that? Can you just bring us in a little bit of how you
Yo,
went from listening to those and decided to write? Yeah, go ahead.
absolutely. Like Summer Walker's album, probably my favorite album of the year. And
Fire.
I just when I dove in, I was like, yo, she's doing exactly what I want to do in the male space. She's speaking up for women in that in that vibration. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I need like I would just constantly as I was putting the explicit tape together, I was just constantly listening to it. And then the last song on the project is Sierra's Prayer, and everybody's, I see the memes and the talking, like everybody's like, we need that prayer that Sierra prayed to get Russell. And then I was like, and that's kind of what it came from. And I was like, in the same vibe, you know, that prayer really sat with me and resonated with me. Me being a PK, coming from the church and stuff, I
Mhm.
was like, yo, I want to be able to say something very similar from somebody who's going through stuff, who's torn, who's emotionally like clearly I'm a very sexual and overactive guy out here in these streets when it comes to the women, and that's what the music is about. But then also there's a real spiritual and really thoughtful and introspective person that's praise constantly. So I was like, yo, how can I bring all of that together? Being a fan of where, Summer left it off on her album, ended her album. I wanted to start mine with it. And even like, it's
Yeah.
funny because people think like, oh, that's blasphemous or sacrilegious. But it's like, nah, this is life. Like, this is how we really feel as men. It's like, man, I want to do everything right by God, but I can't help that, I'm super attracted to this woman this week and this woman the next week. And as a man out here who's not bound in a certain monogamous relationship, how do I function? And these are the things that we say. So as cheeky and as almost like lighthearted as one could take it, it's actually like something where this is something I go through daily, and wanted to put it on the record that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We definitely needed that male perspective, like you said. And you were just saying some really real things on there. You said, I pray that they love me and don't judge me. I pray that they
Yeah,
understand me and don't underhand me. I pray
yeah.
that they want a family and not just a plan B. I'm like, ah, it's not what so what with that in mind, like what is wifey material to Nick Cannon? Like when you were approached by people, when people intrigued you, is it like certain things that stick out?
Yeah, man. I mean, right. Really, what you just quoted right there is like really somebody who's not like I have such trust issues. Like I need somebody to kind of lock in with me and just go along for the ride, regardless of what the media is saying, or regardless of what somebody your friend in your ear is saying. Like, yo, if we in this together, I'm gonna rock with you if you rock with me. And that really what it's when we talk about love languages and stuff like that, because of my trust issues, I go to that space of like, I need the words of affirmation. I need the acts of services and even the space of servitude of like actually being there for a person and holding somebody down. So to me, it has nothing to do with looks or any of that surface stuff. It's really like, yo, somebody that could just really just be down for you.
Yeah, real talk.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. Let's do a quick little segue. Your debut album came out about 20 years ago. Yeah. How does it feel? Like, does it feel like you've been in the game for that long or not?
Nah, that's crazy. And to me, to be honest, that's really the only album I ever put out. You know what I mean? With like, especially like with a major. You know what I mean? Like, cause everything else has either been like a comedy album or something I've done independently or something through my label. Like I've been focused on being an executive and putting projects out through Incredible, opposed to like, all right, I'm gonna be Nick Cannon, the artist, and teeing up, getting ready for that. You know, knowing that the album, like literally, it's like my second album in 20 years is coming in a few months. And even, you know, like I said, I put mixtapes out before and stuff. Like, music is my passion, it's my hobby. But to jump back in and like, all right, I'm taking this seriously as a career again. It's it's interesting, man. I don't really know how to feel about it because one, no one likes getting older, but I definitely feel like I'm more mature, I'm wiser, and really understand the business of music. Having had a record label, having worked at major record labels, knowing everything that it takes, it's definitely something that's allowing me to say, all right, I'm ready for this and want to be taken seriously as a musician and not just somebody who can do a bunch of stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I feel that. So every interview, something we're trying to incorporate now is asking everybody who their top five rappers of all time is. So what's the word? You trying to answer or what?
Yeah, well, you know, I do this on my radio show all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm seasoned with this. And I know the one I always shocks everybody. Number five, Marshall Mathers, Eminem. Like I gotta give props and respect and credit to, you know, the man is a beast because the criteria for top five to me is obviously numbers, obviously skill, flow,
Hmm.
you know, storytelling ability or messaging. And then I'd even have to say just, you know, lyricism based off of bars and, you know, how you put it all together. And that dude checks all those boxes. So I definitely give M number five.
Okay.
Andre 3004. Um,
Undeniable.
Slick Rick, think Slick still holds my number three. You know what I mean? Like my number three is questionable because I'm gonna be honest. I want to go Slick Rick or Drake. That's where I want to go for three.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like they that spot is right there for me on them. And
yeah.
then two is Tupac. Number one, Jay-Z.
Okay. All right. Why does Hove clock in? I mean, for obvious reasons, but for you, why does Hove clock in at number one?
I mean, come on, man. Like it's just
Yeah.
every like when I said the criteria, he checks every box, and then I don't think people give Jay Z his credit for his storytelling ability. Like,
Yeah.
and I even break lyricists down based off of that. Like sometimes on my show, I do top five storytellers all the time, and
Mhm.
Jay comes off as number one. Biggie behind him, Slick Rick right behind him, 3000 behind him, and then Scarface, you know, right behind him because they know how to paint pictures. Like that, nobody paints a picture better than Jay Z. Like even if you listen to the Streets is Watching project, or even some of his more recent stuff, where he's not even necessarily telling you a story, but he's still painting that picture of the world of where he is and currently in his life. So I give him that. Clearly, his life, you know what he's done. He's the like he truly lives it. Like he came from the streets and took it all the way to the billionaire's boardroom. Like not he just take rapper out of it, just person, just icon in itself. Like his story is remarkable, and then still can't nobody out rap him. Like can't nobody beat him when it comes to battling. Can't nobody beat like he's just the best.
Yeah. Nah, real talk. All about
Yeah,
his business.
yeah.
Um,
And Drake is on his toes. That's why I was like, I hate the fact that I couldn't put Drake in there. But I think he probably will be in there. He'll like that's why I said it's hard for me. Like I want to put him in. Like I just got such a love and affinity for Slick Rick and what he's done for hip hop, and I feel like he's inspired everything in hip hop to everybody I named on that list.
sure.
But if I had to take, you know, my old school goat off of there, Drake would get that number three spot.
Yeah. I mean, all undeniable acts. For real, for
Yeah,
real. Straight up. Nick, I got like two more questions.
for sure.
So you know the internet is always debating, especially on Twitter. Streets have been recently saying that Raven Simone is the GOAT of Disney Channel. And it made me think about the GOAT of Nickelodeon. So considering your history with the brand as an actor, as an exec, who's the GOAT of Nickelodeon?
Ooh, ah, man. I mean, I would love to take that, but I'd have to give it to my big bro Keenan Thompson, like, cause he's always been my goat. And if we
Yeah.
talk about someone who's stayed consistent in that space, you know what I mean? For him to start with all that, go to Keenan and Kel, go to Good Burger, took it to the film space, and then become the most successful and longest running SNL cast member, then have his own show, then to come back and actually produce the new All That,
Yeah.
like GOAT status. And that's my big bro. Like I said, there would be no me if it wasn't for that dude. So I got to give my props to Kenan Thompson. Now, on the executive side, obviously I was an executive at Nickelodeon for, almost a decade.
Mhm.
And, behind the scenes, I'll take the behind the scenes GOAT. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
produced a lot of content and created a lot of shows for Nickelodeon, but that's an executive thing. As talent, I'm gonna definitely give it to Kenan Thompson.
Yeah, nah, real talk. And that's actually like why I asked you that. So my last question, I was born in 96. So I came up
Make
on
me
your
feel hella old.
no, no, no. But that's what I'm saying. Like I came up on your content, I'm sure you know, but there's a generation of, young people and I think especially black men that you definitely impacted, you know what I'm saying? Like on the screen, off the screen. So off rip, I just want to give you your flowers for that. And just looking back at the success of your career, like, I'm not gassing when I say you are an entertainment GOAT. So what would you say is the most remarkable thing that you learned along the way?
Man, never stop. You know what I mean? And don't accept no for an answer, because people gonna tell you no your entire career. People gonna tell you you can't do that. I was too young to do this, or the only black to do this, or this. Didn't have the training to do this, and everything I ever wanted to do in entertainment, I've been able to accomplish because I just wouldn't stop. I wouldn't take no for an answer. I figure out a way to do it. When it comes to auditioning for movies and stuff, if I couldn't get it, I'd write a movie on my own and make sure I was in production, or like I would always just figure out another way to go about it to keep swimming, man. Keep like I said, I got that sharks mentality to where it's just like I can't stop swimming. Even when I'm asleep, I'm swimming. So in that idea, I just gotta stay creative, man. And I see it as a blessing, to be honest. But the fact that I can just wake up each and every day and get to be creative, and there's another task, there's another idea, there's another project that I can jump forth. That's really, man, that's the secret to the sauce for me.
Mm, y'all heard it straight like that. In and out
Yeah.
some gems.
Yeah.
Nick, that was all I had for you. Anything else you want to add? Oh, when is the album coming out? Anything you can reveal?
Yeah, we aiming for it should be top of September. You know what I mean? The success of the mixtape is actually altering it a little bit, because the mixtape was just supposed to be some throwaways really, and people really rocking with it and really loving it. So we gonna double down on the joint with me and Chris. The joint with me and Jacquees is fire. Yeah, the joint with me and Brandy. So we gonna pay attention to those. Probably do some videos and stuff for that, and
Okay.
then still leave some room for the album at the end of the summer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we looking forward to it. You got our support. But much love, man. I really appreciate you for the gems, for taking the time.
Nah,
And
I appreciate you.
for
That's
sure.
what's up. Nah, I know our schedules be all over the place. So this is valuable to me, man. I really appreciate the time and a great interview.
Yeah, yes, sir, man. All right,
All
yo.
right,
Be
peace,
easy.
beloved.
Peace.